Good evening, groovy citizens, and happy, fantastic Friday. Listen, I hope you all have had a wonderful day. Now, I don't know where you live, but right now I'm looking at my dashboard and it is almost 6 o'clock and it's 100 degrees outside, okay? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I heard on the radio this morning that today has not been this hot since, oh God, what did they say, 1999 or something like that. But anyway, y'all, it's a scorcher. So if you have to go out, please be careful, stay hydrated, and if you can find cooling stations where you live, I know here in the DMV area they have tons of places where they're giving out bottled water on the metro buses. There are libraries and other places where you can go in to stay cool, because I don't want anybody having a heat stroke or anything like that. Okay, so let's jump into today's video, because I got to wrap this up and I need to get to Trisha's, because we are headed out to run some errands real quick so I can get on in and sit it back down, because like I said, it's hot out here in these streets. So today's topic is how to cope with being overwhelmed. And I thought this was a great topic to talk about, because I know in this day and age, do y'all remember back in the day, as we always like to say, when times and things were so much easier and people didn't have a whole lot on their plate? You may have had one or two things, but now we live in a world where we are multitasking all the time. And I mean, you have jobs. We all have jobs. We have, for those of us that are that have YouTube channels, podcasts, you name it, we just stay busy. We're running businesses. We're active in our church. We're active in our communities, this, that, and the third. So if you're not careful, you can get overwhelmed. So stress doesn't have to discriminate. Stress doesn't discriminate. It impacts all of us, regardless of our age, our gender, our race, where we've come from, where we live, no matter what you've done, what you did, what you're going to do, it does not matter. I use the term stress because when we become overwhelmed, we do get stressed. Let's just keep it real. All of us do. You might not think you do, but I promise you, you do. And there are different levels of stress. We're not going to unpack that in this video, but just so you know that. Now, none of us deals with stress the same, but here are some things that you can do to cope with being stressed and or overwhelmed. And I have 8 things to share with you, and I will let you be. Number 1, figure out where your being overwhelmed comes from. So in order to overcome being stressed, you will need to figure out the root cause of your stress. So you can't fix it if you don't know what is causing that stress. Is it your home life? Is it your work life? Is it trying to balance the two? Is that relationship that you're in? Is it your commitment to your church? Is it your commitment to your community? Is it your commitment to all of these groups that you're a part of? Is it you're trying to stay on top of everything on your social media platforms? You're running a business, all that other good stuff. Whatever it is, it does not matter. You will have to get a handle on what is causing the stress. You cannot fix what you're not even aware of. So that is so important for you to sit down and be honest with yourself and say, okay, this is the thing, or these are the things that are causing me the most amount of stress. Number 2, own your feelings. If you think ignoring or denying your feelings is going to help you, honey, it won't. Instead, acknowledge the fact that you feel overwhelmed, and acknowledge any and all negative thoughts that you may be having. Make sure you don't spend time judging yourself because of how you are feeling. I say that because sometimes we get that superwoman or that superman complex. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where you feel like you have to just be in control all the time. And guess what? You don't. I used to be that person, guilty as charged, and I thought I had to be on top of everything. I thought I had to just be able to multitask. And there have been times, you all know how when you swipe up on your phone, well, I have an iPhone, but if you swipe up on your phone and you can see how many windows that you have open, or how many apps, I should say, that you have open. And sometimes if you're not careful, you can have 5, 10, 15, 20 apps open. I know my mom does. And I have to go, Mom, swipe up, close all of this if you're not using it, because you don't need all those open. Well, that is what your life looks like when you become overwhelmed. overwhelmed. And if you are that person that you feel like you have to be in control all the time and you have to be on top of your game, honey, it's okay to acknowledge that you are feeling overwhelmed. It's okay to acknowledge that you are stressed and you've had it up to here and you can't deal with it anymore. It's all right. Are people going to judge you? Yeah, they probably will, but that's all right. Be true to yourself. Like I said, if you cannot, let me say this, you cannot fix what you will not acknowledge. So you've got to acknowledge how you're feeling in order to fix it. Number 3, practice mindfulness. So practicing mindfulness can help to reduce your anxiety over the past and as well as dealing with the future, because sometimes some people are stressed out and overwhelmed about things that haven't even happened yet. You're overwhelmed because you're anticipating them happen. So some ways that you can practice mindfulness are through meditation, single tasking, which is the opposite, of course, of multitasking. So instead of trying to take on 3 and 4 things at one time, take on one project at a time. You can try some yoga, meditation, or there are apps that can help you to get calm. And so there are 2 that I found. One is called Calm and one is called Headspace. So if you go into your app store, you should be able to find either one or both of those. Download them. I've not used them, so this is not and I'm not advertising for them because I've never used them, but you can try those out. Also, I'm going to put some information in the description box of some videos that I found that you can use to meditate, and a lot of them are short 10-minute clips that you can use to kind of help you get centered and to meditate and to focus and to relieve the stress. So make sure you check those out in the description box. Number 4, breathing exercises. So a 2017 study says that deep breathing can help reduce stress and improve your mood. You can also listen to guided meditations as well. And so, as I said before, check the description box because I'm going to put a link to some videos that I found that you'll definitely want to check out because I think they'll be very helpful. Actually, I went and got my hair done today, in case you all had noticed that it's done differently. And one of them I was listening to while I was sitting under the hairdryer, and it was very, very calming. In fact, I started to feel my eyes getting a little heavy, but it's very relaxing, so it does its job. Number 5, focus only on what you can control. I've talked about this before. You have got to stop stressing about things that you cannot control. You cannot control other people's behavior. You cannot control always the outcome of some things. You cannot control how people are going to react to things. So focus only on the things that you can control. Okay? You cannot control raising your kids in a stable home, a loving environment, and they get older and they decide they're going to go off and do their own thing, which is completely opposite of what you taught them. You can't control that. So stop getting upset and frustrated because you can't fix it. Again, guilty as charged. I used to be that person that I wanted to control everything. I wanted to be the fixer. When I say control, I'm not saying telling people what to do, but I'm talking about control everybody's thoughts and their behaviors and their actions. And I realized, Michelle, you're doing too much. Calm down. Focus only on what you can control. So the next time you start to worry about anything that's out of your control, try to redirect your attention to something that's within your power. This may be easier said than done, but with practice, you can definitely do it. So again, if you cannot control somebody's behavior, their response, and the list can go on and on and on, stop focusing on it. Focus only on what you can control. You cannot control putting out content and whether or not people are actually going to listen to it. But you can control the content that you put out. So focus on that. Just focus on putting out good content that people can benefit from. If you know me, then you know I love speaking life into folks and motivating folks, but I cannot control whether or not they'll actually click on that video or listen to that podcast. But guess what? I've done what I can do, and that's all I can focus on. I can't focus on the rest. Number 5, focus only I'm sorry, I did say that already, didn't I? Number 6, take breaks often. So most of us work 8 hours or more, and then we go home, we cook, we eat dinner, we check the mail, we clean up a little, we shower, watch some television, and then we go to bed. Now, if you have children, then there's a whole nother set of routines that go along with them, because you got to make sure they eat, they make sure they get their bath, their homework is checked, they get into bed in a decent hour, all before you get into bed. Then in a few hours, we get up, and guess what? We do it all over again. So this is why we have to take time to take breaks. Quick 15-minute breaks can be a big help. So as you go about your day, I say take a quick 15-minute break. 10-15 minutes is good. And where you can sit and do nothing. You're not answering phone calls, you're not reading emails, you're not talking on the phone, or you're not washing dishes, you're not cooking. You are taking a break where you can sit down and just relax. It could be listening to a motivational video. You can go into the bathroom, sit on the toilet. It does not matter to me, as long as you are relaxing and you're not doing anything that is work related, anything that's going to require you to really, jump all in and take up a lot of your time, is where I'm going with that. Okay. Number 7, do what you enjoy. Make sure you make time for the things that you really love. That could be spending time with your family, spending time with your friends, listening to music. If you're like me, watching Christmas movies on television. It could be working in your garden. It could be painting your house, putting down new flooring, putting down new tiles, putting in a new ceiling, working on your car. Whatever that thing is that you enjoy and you truly love to do, make time for it. We cannot keep saying, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't have time to do this, to do that, to do the other. Because we do. If you're not careful, your time will get away from you. But I'm asking that you make the time to do the things that you love. Last but not least, number 8, experience physical touch from time to time. So we all can use a hug from time to time. A 2017 study suggests that touch can reduce and promote overall well-being. So you could also get massages if you choose to. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a hugger now, but there was a time in my life that no, I was not a hugger. I did not want you to hug me, and I was certainly not going to hug you. But I would speak, hey, how you doing? And then I'm going on about my business. But over time, I have learned to become a hugger. And you're right, sometimes people need a hug. I've been around people, and I know them, so they weren't just somebody I just met all out of the blue. And I said, you know what, you look like you need a hug. Come on, bring it in. And I'll give them a hug and just kind of squeeze them to let them know that, hey, I may not know all that you're going through, but I have compassion and I feel for you. So, that helps them to relax, and it lets them know that somebody cares. So, like I said, from time to time, we all need that physical touch. So make it a habit of hugging somebody. Now, if you're just not a hugger, then hey, that's cool too. But if you can, or maybe guess what? If you're not a hugger, you can just, you rub somebody in the back and be like, hey, you know what? It's going to be all right. It's just that touch that says, I care, that I love you. I love you, maybe not with your love, but with the love of Christ. But it's just letting that person know that you feel, well, you may not feel what they're feeling, but you understand that they're going through something, and you want them to know that you're not going through this by yourself. Hey, I'm here for you. And so they know that they're not alone. And I know that God touches us in so many ways, but you do need that human touch. And if you're okay with it, I would say go get a massage. Every now and then, maybe once a month, treat yourself to a massage. Now, the type of massage you get, that's on you. I will say this, I've never been one to get regular massages, but there was a time prior to COVID that I was going every month to Massage Envy. I had my membership there, and I was getting a sports massage. And when I tell you those things hurt like I don't know what, they did. But it did help my body to relax from my workout, because when you do a lot of weight training, oh yeah, your body can get very sore. And so those massages were sore, but they weren't meant to be relaxing. However, oddly enough, I did feel a little relaxed after I left. A little sore, but relaxed nonetheless. But you get where I'm going with this. Make sure you reach out and you hug somebody, or you touch somebody's arm, or you touch their back, or just, just to say, hey, it's going to be all right. Whatever you're going through, it is going to be okay. And sometimes you may need that. And if you need that human touch, that human connection, open your mouth and let people know. Okay. So you guys, that's it. That's all I have for you all, because I need to turn my air up, because like I said, it's 100 degrees. It's hot as I don't know what in this car. I had it down so that you don't hear it in the video. Sometimes I can't help it, but today I was trying not to, but the sister is cooking, okay? And I don't want my hair to wilt. But anyway, today we talked about how to cope with being overwhelmed. If you are living a life where you are stressed and you are just overwhelmed, I need you to look at these steps. They'll be in the description box. Figure out which ones or which one works for you. You may have some other ways to deal with it, and that's absolutely fine. I just want you all to make sure that you are not living a stressful life, because you deserve to have some peace, some calmness, and some tranquility in your life. So having said all of that, thank you so much for giving me just a little bit of your time to motivate you and or speak life into you and help you relax just a little bit more. If you're new to watching my videos, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. Y'all know I miss you and I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there, enjoy the rest of your evening, and as always, please, please, please be careful. Be careful with this heat. But and I need you to do this too. Check on somebody or somebody's. Check on your family. Check on your friends, your neighbors that you know that may live alone. Check on them to make sure they're okay, because this heat is no joke, you guys. Make sure they don't need any cold water, or if they don't have air and you do, invite them over to come and enjoy some of your air, and maybe even spend the night, you know, if you feel okay with that and they're okay with it. I just want everybody to be cool and nobody is struggling in this heat, okay? And what else was I getting ready to say? I was getting ready to say something else. Oh, if you're going out, please be safe. I heard about an overnight shooting. I'm not sure where it happened, where there was some gunfire exchange between two cars. So I don't know what happened, what led up to it. But y'all be safe as you go out there, okay? Because I love you and I want you to come back and continue to be motivated with me every time I put out a video, which is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So make sure you come back tomorrow for another motivational video, as well as don't forget to check out my podcast on tomorrow as well, because it'll be our last Christmas in July video for this year. Thank you for those of you that have hung in there with me. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you all, and I love Christmas anyway, so I love doing my Christmas in July series. But yeah, come back tomorrow, check out tomorrow's video here on YouTube, but also check out the podcast, and I'll leave a link for that. Now, having said that, you guys, that's it. Y'all go out there, have a wonderful evening. Again, whatever you do, just be safe. I love you all. Y'all know the drill. You know the spill. There's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, that you can ever do about it, because I love you all no matter what. And we will talk again tomorrow.